Welcome to lesson 68 of algebraic concepts, multi-step inequalities, fractions, and decimals. All right, so again, here's the same lesson, but just fractions and decimals. So let's get to it. Here's our objective. Here's our rules and notes. And you can read over these, pause, read over these things. And just to let you know again, when the comparison is underlined, it includes the number. So for this one, it includes 3. And for this one, it does not include 3 because it's not underlined. That's the difference between the open and closed circle. Okay, so let's look at our first problem. Well, everything's a decimal, so we can just go ahead and solve it. We can subtract 5.9 from both sides. 5.9 subtracted from both sides, 3.65n is greater than 20.5 minus 15.5 is 15, so that'd be 14.6. Then divide both sides by 3.65. And n will be greater than 4. So when we graph that, we put a 0 for reference, a 4, and every number bigger than 4 solves the inequality. So let's look at example 2. Okay, we're going to rewrite everything so that it is proper fraction. So we got 2 over 3 minus h over 6 is less than 1/2. So the first thing we got to do is subtract 2/3 from both sides. Negative h over 6 is less than 1/2 minus 2/3 is negative 1 over 6. So what I'm going to do is change this fraction to negative 1 over 6 times h is less than negative 1/6. So in order to get rid of the fraction, we got to multiply everything by the inverse. Multiply by negative 6. Multiply the whole, which means both sides. So this square bracket means multiply the whole thing. And so it cancels out. The 6 and 6 cancel out on both sides. And h, we multiply by negative on both sides. So when you multiply by negative, you flip the comparison or the inequality symbol. And negative 6 times negative 1/6 is 1. So h is bigger than 1. So put a 0 for reference. 1. Open circle because the number is not included. So all numbers bigger than 1. Any number bigger than 1 will satisfy this. So those were our 2 examples. Please try to practice problems, and I will see you at the end of the video for a recap. Okay, so here we see a fraction. So I'm going to deal with the 3.9 is greater than or equal to 0.3 minus 2/5 is 0.4, so 2.4 m. I could have did it a different way, but I'm going to show you why I chose this way. Minus 0.3, minus 0.3. So 3.6 is greater than or equal to negative 2.4 m. So we're going to divide by negative 2.4 on both sides. When we divide by negative, the sign flips, so be careful. And then that becomes 36 divided by 24. Which is 1.5. Negative 1.5. And I'm going to rearrange the whole thing, putting the m on the left. M is greater than or equal to negative 1.5. And when we graph that, 0, negative 1.5, and all numbers bigger than negative 1.5, including negative 1.5 because it's underlined. And so our next example, we're going to subtract 3/4 from both sides. So you got 1/8 m is less than 1/4 minus 3/4 is negative 2/4. Multiply everything by 8. And m is less than negative 4. And when we go to graph that, you got 0, negative 4. All numbers smaller than negative 4 solve that inequality. Okay, so that is our lesson. I was just checking. So if you like what you see, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more lessons, and I will catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.